Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Natasha Johnson, and my pronouns are she, her. I'm a pediatrician and adolescent medicine specialist at McMaster Children's Hospital.
My name is Julie Temple. My pronouns are she and her. I'm an adjunct professor of gender studies at Memorial University.
Today, we are presenting on behalf of our colleagues insights from the Trans Youth Can cohort, adolescent cohort to inform WPATH Standards of Care, version 8. A little bit of relevant background to highlight. In the adolescent chapter, the statement in the language in statement 11 prioritizes the perspectives and worries of parents over the lived experiences of youth and introduces additional barriers to accessing gender affirming care. Our Trans Youth Can study provides data on both the worries and positive feelings of parents and gives context to how these worries change over the course of 2 years of gender affirming treatment. Statement 12B requires youth to demonstrate several years of gender incongruence verified through comprehensive psychosocial assessments to access gender affirming care. Comprehensive psychosocial assessment is actually a standard part of adolescent interviewing. We want to emphasize that this can be done by a variety of healthcare professionals, as was the case for youth in the Trans Youth Can study. Analysis of the frequency of regret and levels of positive feelings after 24 months of gender affirming care explores the potential rationale of additional lengthy structured assessments to validate gender identity. The recommendations in both statements 11 and 12B seem based on the unproven presumption that youth accessing gender affirming care are experiencing harm and regret in significant numbers that would be sufficient to restrict access to care for trans youth. Our participants, in fact, did not demonstrate such regret over a 2-year period.
Relatedly, we wanted to bring your attention to an article that Trans Youth Can recently published in the Journal of Pediatrics, showing that our data do not support the hypothesis that adolescents with recent awareness of their gender identity who present for medical care represent a group likely to be harmed by treatment. And in fact, the negative mental health outcomes that were proposed by the theory of rapid onset gender dysphoria do not vary based on the time that youth knew their gender. So Trans Youth Can is a prospective cohort study providing data on social, family, and medical outcomes for 174 youth from puberty to age 15 and 160 matched parents. These youth come from 10 gender clinics across Canada and were recruited at their first medical appointment at the clinic. Our data sources, including 2 years of follow-up, are interviewer-administered youth surveys and self-completed parent surveys, as well as in the broader study, we included clinical medical records and short online symptom checklists. For parents, our measures included checklists of worries and positive feelings about their youth's gender. For adolescents, for parental support for their gender-affirming medical care. For both parents and adolescents, they completed a 2-year follow-up, a decision regret scale, including 5 items scored from 0 to 100, with scores above 50 indicating regret.
So what did our results show? On average, parents' number of positive feelings that they reported about their adolescent's gender remained stable over time. The average number of worries about their adolescent's gender decreased over time, and specifically worries about making decisions that were irreversible decreased over time. Next slide. If we look at parental support, youth reported that their parental support increased over time, whereas 55% reported at baseline that the parents in their lives were supportive. This percentage increased to almost 70% at 2 years. Next slide.
This diagram shows our youth decision regret scale. And what we want you to notice is that for all youth, whether they're still in care or had chosen to stop care, none of those youth expressed regret. None of them crossed the threshold of regret at 50. The 5 items that we included in the decision regret score included: it was the right decision, I would make the same choice again, and the decision was a wise one. And I regret the choice that was made, and the choice harmed me. In terms of parental decision regret, what we want you to note here is that only 3 parents passed the threshold for regret on this scale. This is whether or not their youth were still in care or who had stopped care. And the 2 parents you see here who had scored 90 and 95, these were not parents whose regret was based on their youth's experience. Instead, these were parents who had expressed regret right from baseline that they were against gender affirming care, and those feelings did not change. This is in spite of the fact that their youth did not express regret about gender affirming care and had continued to receive care.
So in conclusion, youth in the Trans Youth Can study did not undergo a battery of psychological testing to verify their gender identity. Overall, there was minimal regret for parents and no regret for youth. Parents' worries decreased over time and their support for their youth increased. This suggests that parents' feelings should not be prioritized over the youth's experience. There's no evidence to delay care based on the initial feelings of parents, given how their worries decreased over time and support increases.